Howdy, folks. Good morning. Welcome back to the shed. We've got Mum and Son's rail fans. That's Tammy and Ray. Good morning to you. We got James from Colonial Calendar, Canada, and Jean Ricard, all the way from Denmark, the one and only. Thanks for popping in, Jean Ricard. We've got Peter at Delft Junction. Hello, and nice to see you. We've got Martin from Shedmouth Junction. How lovely to see you. How's Evie? Very well, I trust. Let's get that out of the way first. That's it. Right. And we got Connie, Dragon Lover 68. For those of you that don't know, Connie usually does a Sunday live at 5, roughly around the same time that Lee does. And it's always a pleasure to drop in there. There's always something going on. Dear Evans, good morning, good afternoon to you. Marklin Man Dino. Greetings, Dino. Nice to see you. Just had a look at the video you put out where you infilled some of the ballast between the tracks by getting, I think it was something like fish. I can't remember what it is exactly. It's stuff they use in fish tanks to, add a bottom to the fish tank. There's Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Nice to see you. A little bit better now. That's good. That's always good. Right, what have we got today? It's a bit of an LNER fest today. London North East Railways. Let me just motion that down a bit. I gather you can all hear me. Yes, there's an answer to my question. Yeah, Evie's good. Yeah, cracking the whip today, making her do homework. Oh yeah, homework. Yeah, aquarium gravel. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, just a thing for filling in between the already ballasted tracks. It does look a bit on the coarse side, but for half the price, you can't really grumble about that. There you go. Did you say you're going to get Sandy? Yes, I am. I'm going on the Sunday because on the Saturday I'll be travelling. So I'm not going to be able to make it on the Saturday, but definitely on the Sunday. Stuart St Mary Church Model Railway. Hello, Stuart. Nice to see you. Running a little bit of London North East Railway today. You should see coming behind me, which is going to be first, the W1 in its original funny shaped marine boiler, that kind of thing. Dark grey with a rake of teak coaches behind. Those are the expensive Hornby ones that don't really roll too well. I'm not sure what they did there, but that's Hornby for you. And on the other direction, that I believe is an N7 and some suburban teak coaches. Again, I think they're Hornby. These do roll a little better. So, and there's GWR Buckley Junction. For those of you that don't know, it's Sean, spelled S-I-O-N, Sean. And nice to see you, Sean. And March West Junction, Andy. Yeah, brilliant. For those of you that haven't seen March West Junction, Andy, yeah, tune into his channel. Always popular. Go on Sunday, Pete. We can all meet up at Gets. Yeah, it's a great idea. Sunday does seem to be the most popular day. Reason for that is, obviously there's guys like Alan at Dragon Junction who are doing the whole weekend, as is Anthony and Joyce, who I haven't seen in just yet, but it's early days in the Americas. Yes, they're obviously making a weekend of it, and they've got the local hotel, but the main thing is there's a football match going on at MK Dons, which is in the same complex as Gets. So obviously that's so what they've done is move a lot of the parking for that, apart from hotel guests, I gather, over to, I think it's the Milton Keynes Bowl, and then they're having a bus route between the two to keep things all together. Charlestown Model Railway. Hello, Chaz. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're feeling okay on this bright but quite chilly afternoon here in the jolly old UK. A brief look at the temperature. It's just over 70 degrees, so not hot. This is the kind of, and Robert's train set, Robert Valentine. For those of you who don't know Robert, he does a wondrous show on his channel of both lives and videos in the way that only Robert can do. Robert uses iTrains, highly complex way of controlling the trains, but you know, fair play to Robert. The technology's there, and he uses it, so that's great. Yeah, Gets. Obviously, there's a football match on Saturday at home, so parking's going to be difficult. Hello, Mav. Nice to see you. Thanks for the shout out. Ah, my pleasure. It's one of the reasons I started doing Model Railway lives and videos, just watching what Robert could achieve. Just started from scratch and then building. Robert used to have his layout in his front room, really, as a tabletop, but then decided that it was in the way a bit, and you know, it's difficult to have guests and you know, sit down to a meal right in the middle of a railway. So the railway moved to the loft. That obviously has its bonuses because it's there, it is for you all the time, but it's not really all the time because you've got the weather to worry about. It can either get too cold or too hot, and usually it's too hot, particularly in the flash summers that we get. Tom Couples, hello, nice to see you. And Charlie from Particle Station. Yeah, good morning from 11 degrees Toronto. So if it's 11 degrees for you, Charlie, then probably James has got a similar kind of temperature. Heading downtown, but thought I'd say hi before I head out. Oh, that's nice of you to pop in. Thanks, Charlie. And RGJ Trains, that's Robin Grace. Nice to see you. Just got back from shopping. A noble art. And we do have to eat. There's Mick at Edgeley Park. Now just Mick 92. That's not his age, it's just a number that Mick chose. After having a fortnight of 30 degrees, it's bloody cold here. Yes, it is. Yeah, decidedly chilly. Robert's ordered the Rapido 15XX loco. Am I mad? No, you're not. But it seems to be a bit of a lottery what kind of model you're going to get. I did see Matt Slade's review of it, and the blooming thing would move. There are other. Looking at Matt's model, I could see some visible glue marks on there. There was one on the side of the cylinders. Yeah, I think the factory have let Rapido down there, but there are some good ones that come out. Richard got one, and he's been using it. The sound works fine. There was a little discrepancy between the chuffs of the sound and the actual motion. So Richard farted around with the CVs in there and managed to get a better match. Apparently, the sound was done by John JMC, at I believe it's who does he work for? Digitrains. Um, so yeah, there's nothing wrong with the sound file. It's a little bit on the quiet side, but that's a bonus because they can come out booming and have a little bit of distortion there. I'd rather have it turned down and listen to the high fidelity rather than have it booming out. Yeah, it is a mixed bag. Just see what you get, Robert, and then take it from there. I mean, if it's covered in glue, send it back. Um, Richard, there was some tiny glue marks on there, but it wasn't a big issue on Richard's. But there was a detailed part missing from the front, which is a little brass tap. He wasn't bothered about it. You can't see it from 3 foot away. You can't even see the tap at that distance. Oh, there's Evie. Dad's going to get some Sunday. Yes, we have a little gift for you from both of us. Oh, that's so kind. That's a little thank you for supporting us from the start of our adventure. Well, what can I say? In a similar vein, I feel the same way about Robert, who demonstrated that yes, you can do of videos and live stream and not totally embarrass yourself and keep it entertaining. Um, yeah, it's an encouragement, and why not? You know, you get to a certain age where you don't get embarrassed by your failures anymore. They just happen. You know, that's life. I've just seen Ben in there. Hello, Ben. Nice to see you. How's South Wales today? Anyway, that's very kind of you, Evie, and to your dad, Martin. That's super kind, and that's a very nice thing. Yeah. There's all kinds of things flitting through my mind. Oh, I wonder what that could be. Ah, yeah, 2 yards of ballast, perhaps. Hmm. Maybe, maybe not. We'll wait and see. It's like waiting for Christmas. You know that air of anticipation, and I've learned to deal with that over the years, so I can just go and be completely offhand about it. Uh, so yes, a reiteration of what we're doing here today. We've got some LNER stock running. Behind over here is the W1, pulling a rake of grizzly teaks. And just behind me is, I believe, that's an N7, uh, both from Hornby. In fact, I think the whole lot's from Hornby. And those are some suburban teaks. So it's all teaks. And there's Artie from Osmerica Model Railroading. See, I can say it. And model train slaves. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Are we slaves to it? Yeah, of course we are. Once it grabs hold of you, there's no letting go. Dry here today, been raining for the past 4 days. Yeah, it's tough when that happens. We haven't got off scot-free. We've had the rain and some of it absolutely bucketed down. Kyle Stevens, welcome in. Nice to see you. Blowing a hoolie as well. Yes, yeah, we've got a couple of days where the wind was really howling. So luckily all the fences survived and things like that. So yeah, um, what I could actually do is I could do with Richard up here to change some of the trains in and out, because it's difficult. You all know it's difficult being on the chat, looking at the chat, and trying to keep an eye on what the trains are doing, particularly if you're switching things around. And of course, then you have to turn your back on your audience, and that's never a good thing. Lee's at live today at 5, yes, and so is Connie. They do separate live streams. Yeah, Digger Evans, yay. I did see you were on last night with, I believe it was Boxcar Jerry Digger, and I saw it there, and my eyes were starting to shut, and I thought I've got to go to bed. So sadly, I didn't drop in, but I will. It's only a matter of time. Uh, Sadly, I won't be going myself. It's just going to be Dad on the Sunday, as he has to work on the Saturday. Oh, yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, there's only so much you can do, particularly if you're living a great distance away, and Kent is far enough, because then you've got to get across London and get up to Milton Keynes and then get there. So Richard does full-size trains all day. It's not fair to make him do the small ones. Well, let me stop you there. There's Daz Faulkner. Hello, Daz. Nice to see you. Um, I've got some LNER stuff running. I'll give you some closer views as we go on. But this was Richard's idea. Richard mooted this. Why don't we get the LNER stuff down about 3 weeks ago? And I got involved in other things, and one thing led to another, and it sort of got put on the back burner a bit. So, yeah. And then when I wasn't using, I cleared everything away. Actually, I didn't. Richard put everything away and got out the LNER stuff, which is no mean feat, because all of what you see here is all boxed. And it has to be taken out of the boxes carefully, and then put on the track, make sure it still works, blah, 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 blah. There's one over this side, and it's actually Quicksilver. That's a Hornby model, and as I reversed it out of the loco shed, it stopped. What? And it started again, and then stopped. It's got a sticking point on every revolution of the wheel, so I don't know whether one of the rods are striking each other. I haven't actually turned it upside down. Always prefer your Pullmans, Andy. Yeah, but if you have Pullmans morning, noon, and night, where's your variety? And you think, well, do I keep running them? And then it gets a bit stale. Stuart will probably back me up there. It's nice to have a change of rolling stock. Then everything gets a bit of use. Then you find out how many squeaks you've got on the wheels and things of that nature. Collins Engage, nice to see you. How's the trestle bridge coming along, Colin? That's knowing you, that's got to be almost finished now, I would have thought. I can see Colin furiously typing away on the tippy tappy. Yeah, mix them up. I'm with you there, Stuart. I noticed that Al at Dragon Junction did a highly unusual train where he had a HST motorised unit and trailer in between a load of Pullmans. And that blew my mind. I thought, I'd never thought of doing that. Yeah, that one completely escaped me. So that one came so left of field that I thought, oh, wow, you've really done it there. I can't remember what the HST units were. May miss comments, writing out my names list properly to share with others. It's in my purple book. I see. Okay. Now, is that Gracie's purple book or is that Rob's purple book? There's bound to be two. 3,500 separate bits of glue. I'm going to change learning about actions on I-trains. Oh, yes. Now, I-trains, yeah, probably Robert can help you there. Did a HST goods train. Yeah, I've never thought about that. I think we tend to be a bit OCD about our trains and getting things to run with the correct stock and things like that. A mix-up, particularly if it's something like LMS coaching stock running with a Great Western engine. Why not? Why not? You can do it. But everything seems to be running okay at the moment. What do we got? We did that with the XPT here when they were brand new. Actually, there's a shot of it behind a freight train when it broke down. Whoa. Okay. Colin's doing supervised trains. It was hard for me. Yeah, well, that's technology for you, Robert. Has anybody got a Hornby Rail Adventure HST power cars? Well, I certainly haven't. I think the last HST we got, I'm trying to think, was the banana train, the Network Rail job, I think. Wait a minute. 80 brain grinds. It may well have been the GWR set because we wanted a glossy set because that's how they look in real life, glossy. Not matte, not, what do you call it, the halfway house between gloss and matte. Yeah, like a silky kind of colour. Well chuffed. There's Rick and Pauline. I gather that's Rick. Hello, Rick. Nice to see you. Thanks for the comments on our content. Well, again, you do have some great variety. All these different shows lends variety in itself. And while there's some of the same traders there who you can say, oh, hi, how are you doing? It's been a long time since last weekend. There are others that aren't. And there's all kinds of different exhibition layouts. And it's all great to see. So for me, I could just sit back, relax, cup of coffee. I'm glad I reminded myself. Cheers, everybody. Cup of coffee and watch Rick and Pauline do all the hard work, going around all the stalls, sniffing out the bargains. But somebody did remark that I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Anthony Dodge, where he's saying, yeah, move Rick out of the way. I'm in there, I'm buying that. And quite often that's what you see, being a camera on the shoulder. You think, oh, I could do with that. And that's really nice. I'd buy that straight away. But there's only so much money you're carrying around in your pocket. And it's easy to flash the plastic, but then the bill comes later. So you have to temper yourself. And Rick, you do that very well. Just say, yeah, no, not interested in that. We've got one of those. Seen that before. There's plenty of them around. You know the market, which is great. And it's a help for us. When we go and sniff out, you know, we're getting to know the history behind Triangs and Ren and Double O and some of the other. Take my accountant with me. Yeah, that'll be Pauline. Well, that accounts for it. Yeah. Well, Chuff, we'll have to check you out, saying it's odd. Yes. Well, we all like odd. The W1 that's going around here is an odd locomotive. You have coffee, Artie, not tea. I'm not sure. Are you a coffee drinker, Artie? Because there are some people, I think Dino's one of them, no coffee. And I think Anthony Dodge is the same, no coffee. I think James is a coffee drinker over in Canada. And probably Delft Junction Pete. Yeah. Colin's a tea man. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Prefer coffee over tea. Yeah, okay. But put 2 sugars in it, and yeah, beer for Mick. Yeah, all day long. Coffee all day long. Literally bleed brown. Yeah, okay, Ben. Yeah, I'm with you there. Tea is served. Now, Robert is another tea drinker and an aficionado of tea, I would suggest. So you know when you get tea right, because it doesn't come out right all the time, does it? You know, coffee you can look at it on a spoon and think, yeah, that's about right. But with tea, it's whether you warm the pot and there's a there's a lot of science behind tea, and sometimes you just get it right. Uh, both for Stuart. Yeah, okay. Um, only coffee after dinner. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I can understand that. Um, Coffee probably settles the stomach, but Artie doesn't drink that much alcohol. Yeah, it's not good for you, particularly it'll mix up with your meds, man, and that's not good. What are we're all different, so drink what you like. Yeah, that's the essence of it. But obviously, we've got tea and coffee as the staple drinks. There's not enough of anything in it to be harmful, and it's something you can just keep your kidneys working too. Right, let's move the camera and get a close up of what's going on. And what I'll do, I'll put the camera across so it's over yonder, and that'll give you a more value for your buck. I'm nutty enough now, you reckon, Andy? Uh, there's always room for a little more nuts. Used to have a cigar after dinner 45 years ago. You were only 5. 5 is in the post. Right, here we go. Let's go for shaky cam. Right, I fold that up, and I'll drag it across here. Meanwhile, back at the mobile camera, stormy sky is doing something. Right, get rid of that first. There we go. Right. Let's give you a little more. Here comes the W1. Odd shaped boiler that thing's got. And the tiki coaches. I'm not sure about those, but it looks to me like they've got lights in them. I don't think they have. Mixed liver and kidneys are pickled. Happy Valley. Right, hello Edward. How are you? What we've got coming round at the moment is a highly unusual Gresley locomotive, the W1, which had a marine boiler. So it looks like the boiler's melted on it. Odd looking thing. With a rake of teak coaches, befitting Sir Nigel Gresley. I'll speed up the other one so we get a bit more value for money. And coming past you will be the N7. It's a funny little tank engine locomotive with some suburban stock. There you go. How's that? Yeah, Stuart, those are the sort of expensive tiki ones. I don't think they roll particularly well. But Hornby did a bang up job with the colouring on those. Right, so Ben's got his nose to the grindstone at work, which is never good. Let me see if I can adjust the camera a little bit so it's a little more straight. How's that? N7, although they're a small tank engine, close up they're huge. Hey up. Hey. How are you? All right? And Richard has joined us, risen from the grave. Any probs with the W1, Andy? No, Chaz. The only problem was that where they put the steps on the side, it does tend to hit on things like platforms. But mechanically, no problems. And other than that, there were no bits falling off or anything like that. And the shroud at the front, which is the smoke deflectors, they weren't cracked or anything. So this one was all good, Chaz. When I got Quicksilver on, it was going dunk, dunk, dunk.
Oh, the DC one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I was going to run that. Oh, well, I'm going to have that part. That's a horn gear. It feels like one of the rods are hitting on one of the.
Right. Well, you've still got your black label one over there, so.
Then it's got 5, yeah, but then that means changing out at DPC.
Yeah, but then all these three are DCC.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to do that.
Alright.
Right. Let me just grab your back for a second. Oh, Right. Richard's here. Wait. Never fear, Richard's here. Right. Okay. Right. If you want to go inside me, whichever way you want.
Just thinking about how to go about this. I'm going to shunt everything and all. Let's think this.
Right. We're just going to have a change up so we can get some DCC going. Get the teeth back in. Is it something in? Where did you get the LNER coaches from for the W1000? Well,
they are Hornby main range stuff.
Yeah, they actually came first. We had the coaches before.
Hello, by the way.
Cool. We had the coaches before we ever got the W1. So we'd obviously run Flying Scotsman type A1s, A3s, and A4s and LNER, B1 bongos and things like that. And then along come the W1, and that would have actually pulled that kind of stock. So, yeah, they're the main range, quite expensive seat coaches.
Right.
Not
40, 50 quid a go?
Not the railroad ones. They're 50 odd quid a go. So if you want a 6-car train, you're talking, £300. So it's better to get them over a good length of time. If you can manage it, do one a month, so it doesn't impact you that much. If you really want them that bad, it's worth taking your time and building a stock. Stanover Model Railway. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you. We're just having a little change up at the moment. We were running the N7.
N2.
Oh, it's an N2. Is it an N2?
It is an N2.
An N2. With some teak Suburban stock. And I did have the W1. I did have the W1 going with some mainline teak stock. But we're going to have a little change round and get some DCC going. Need some decent LNER coaches. The old coaches were quite good actually in their day. They obviously didn't have the kind of detail and colouring that these ones have got. Let me just say, Hornby did a brilliant job on these. These teaks don't roll as well as the old ones. The old ones were just plastic wheels with a little white edge on them. But having said that, the new ones, I think what did they do? There was something between the pinpoint and the bearing, which wasn't quite right, and they do tend to drag a little. So, yeah, Martin, just build the teaks up. You can't afford them in one go. Nobody can, unless you've got $250,000 in the bank or something, and just let's just have them. Class 101 and a pannier. Oh yeah, right. Okay, Sean. Yeah, sure. What on an LNER day? So we have now moved over to DCC at the flick of a switch. How many DC and DCC locomotives do you have?
A lot of DC.
A lot of DC.
A good few DCC, but not as many.
I'd say about 30 odd DCC locomotives, and the rest of them are all plain DC, either waiting their turn or they'll stay DC, depending on obviously how much room you've got in the particular locomotive to do a DCC conversion. On some of them, it's just not possible. Or if it is, you'd have to use a micro or a little 6-pin or something absolutely tiny. But sometimes sound just can't be done because you've got to put the speaker somewhere as well. Alan and John coloured the railroad teaks. They look good. Yes. Yeah, that is a method of doing it. There are sounds in the background. My trains are all OCD at the moment. OCD.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Jake. Obsessive compulsive disorder. I don't know about the trains, Artie, but maybe it's just you, mate. Maybe you're too obsessive. Yeah. I must have missed one. Who's got the trauma? Oh, the sound of an A4 being reversed. My trains are obsessed with coming off the tracks.
Ah.
What does Trackside Mike say? Keep it on the tracks. The bells may be deaf, you know. This is Marilda. She loves me. There's Alan Reynolds. Welcome to the Sunday's Variety Madhouse. So how's things, Alan? We're watching you on your UK tour, which did seem to be cut short a bit. Sort of when a lady friend entered the fray. Hope that all that's going well for you, mate. And happiness. It's a cigar called Hamlet. It's all the real expensive, fine detailed ones that are coming off the rails. Yeah, it's amazing how that happens, isn't it? Me, Andy. DCX. Too many times. DCX? YouTuber PDRR engineer has passed away. Oh, that's a shame. Can't say I'm familiar with that particular site, but yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, death's no stranger, unfortunately, but we just have to deal with it. Heavy locos are better at not derailing, I think. Yeah, if they've got a bit of heft to them, they do tend to stay nailed to the rails. You're right there, Robert. All good here, but you've been stood up. It was fun while it lasted, though. Oh well. Yeah, there you go. That's again, that's life, and you just have to deal with it. Anyway, it's nice to see you, Alan. I gather you'll be going live tonight. Aha. Yep. Things are motivating upwards. More like flying rails. Great runaways on the mountain layout. Whoop.
Helps if you throw the point.
Helps if you throw the points. That 3-cylinder beat of an A4. I gather everybody can hear that in the background. It's difficult, obviously, for me to know what you can hear. Let me just take a quick look, and I'll be able to see for myself. Because sometimes the AI just kicks in, and I can do that. That should be a bit more like it. Can everybody hear me okay? I'll just click on that. AI noise reduction is off, so that's good. Right. Yes, up to at 9 p.m. Oh, that's good. Okay. Right, we'll be there. Be there or be square. Alan Reynolds tonight, Buckland Junction, 9 p.m., which is 4 p.m. probably US time. Good picture and sound. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. For whatever reason, I think it evaluates what your webcam is pushing out on the day and then adjusts to a degree. It shouldn't be able to do that, but there's Valley's 56XX. That's Chris. Hello, Chris. Yep. Coming around, we have the Silver Fox pulling the Silver Jubilee, as you can see in yonder background. It's music to my ears. And coming around now, which one is that, Rich? The Dominion of Canada, the one with a bell on the front. Okay, James, this bud's for you. Obviously, different sound files between the two. The Silver Fox is the Dapol Black Label version, which in my mind is the best A4 ever been produced in this country. It's got Broadway import sound card on it, which can be a bit friable, but the sound file they got on it, it's got smoke, it's got lights, it's got firebox flicker, it's got the works. And we ummed and ahed about getting one for years. When they first come out, it was one of those situations where we're having trouble, we can't consist it with anything else on the layout, moan. So we sort of left it in abeyance. And then, I think it was it last year at Getz, I think it was. We were looking for one for the Silver Jubilee. And this one had the works. It had the smoke. And we thought, okay, let's buy it. We'll take a chance. But they do hold here's a warning for you, they do hold their value. So you're looking at 400 quid for one of these, and that's second hand. And that, I believe, was from Rouse of Sheffield. Seeming to be much maligned. Ooh. With the bell. Okay, I hope you're still here, James, because here she comes. This is the Dominion of Canada with a slightly adjusted sound file on there for the bell. And what is it, a 4-chime or a 5-chime?
It's a 5-chime.
A 5-chime whistle. SJ Dusty, hello Simon, nice to see you. I don't know if anybody's tickled the like button today, but if you'd like to do that, my analytics will brim over with happiness. And did I see Ivor Van Zon? If you are in here, good afternoon to you. £400, that's almost Euro prices. We pay 600 for a top of the line Pacific here. Yeah, I think new, they were about the same amount of money. And they kept their value because they're obviously they didn't do a very big run of them, Ivo. But it had the lights, it had the smoke box flicker, it had the sound, it had die-cast construction, it had smoke. Effectively, it was a Broadway limited engine in UK 00 form. So, yeah, we had to have it. What are we talking about? We're talking about the Silver Fox, which is coming round any second now. Here we go. There she blows. That's got a very pleasing sound file on it. The other one does too, but this one comes with a sound file already in it, so you buy the whole package. I prefer the actual live sounds from the locomotives themselves. That's just me. Rule number 1 applies as always. Yeah. Whoa. Had a point open there. But it's great. I've got Richard here who can look after the running side while I can keep an eye on the chat because it's so difficult to do both. But Mark, yes, it's nice to hear the sound of the real thing. Okay, Alan, see you tonight. Thanks for popping in. We've got 23 on the like button now, so that's very kind of you all. And here we go. Right, I'll try and give you a close-up view. Here we go. Right. So 31 watching. Silver A4 is definitely on my shopping list. Yeah, it's a very expensive engine. And it's a bit of a lottery whether you get a good one or a bad one. Well, same thing with it, every model you buy. Everybody can get a good one and a bad one. But when you're buying second hand, there's the Dominion of Canada with a bell on the front. And there goes the Silver Fox. Yeah, those silver coaches, Stuart, are actually LMS stock, which Hornby used, painted them silver because I suppose they looked like the original Silver Link train, and went with that. And that's all they've ever done, I think. Have they done a more modern one?
They did some Mark III's, but that was
No,
really
yeah,
interesting.
no, I mean, no. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the shot of the day.
Smoke off of it. We'll do something, put some liquid in it and put it all right.
Don't worry. It's just nice having the sound. Okay, Jake's off. For anyone with loads of money to spare, who's looking for a German train, Brawa do a DB Class 44 freight locomotive. Loads of money, huh? Right. They all sound slightly tuned to me, Ivo. Whatever sound file and speaker combination they have in whatever scale. Yeah. Well, the way I'm hearing this at the moment live, it sounds pretty good to me. It's as good a representation as you can get in a tiny model like 00 or HO scale. You can't do miracles with it. I know Broadway Limited have tried, but you can't do miracles with a HO size. I think it's 8.
No, it's not.
Is it?
All the functions are budged over by 1 for some reason.
Oh, right, okay. Because that was one thing I did look at. Yep, smoke. We now have smoke as well. Nothing beats the sound of track when a heavy steam train drives over it slowly. Yeah, when it grinds. Yeah, I know what you mean, Ivo. I did catch your video about the couplers, Ivo. Yeah, it's quite good. Quite a few differences between all the different Fleischmann couplings. I'm amazed, actually. Some of them are very subtle changes, and some of them... Here we go. We have some smoke. Looking good. I see the wind's got up. You can probably hear the door banging in the background. I'll just fix that now. And then the dog will come along and pinch the stick that I've used to open the door. Oh, yeah, sorted. Mr. Anthony Dodge, nice to see you. Talking about a super stream. Oh, thank you, Robert. That's very kind of you, mate. Thanks for popping in. Always a pleasure. Curly Express, hello, Dwight. Nice to see you. 55 miles per hour here. 55 mile an hour, Rob. His farts. Oh, that's quick. 5 mile per hour wind. Oh, I got you. So what's that, about 50 knots? Did Hornby ever attempt to do pulsed exhaust on the A4, or is there no space left to fit the smoke system that Roco used on the DB? At recent times, they've been experimenting with a, what do you call it? A vape unit in there. So vaporized water mist rather than a smoke generator using smoke fluid, Ivo. It's still in the pipeline, and there should be enough room in there. I have to go and pick up the rental truck to finish emptying my garage, getting driveway and garage floor redone. Okay, Anthony. Yeah, just do what you have to. As I did say, it's a London North East Railway day today, so we're running something suitable. Signal cabin, how are you doing? Welcome in. We've got a couple of A4s running for you. Love it if Hornby made some new and accurate Silver Jubilee coaches. Yes, we all would, Mark. Yeah, definitely. But then an upshot of that is that the old ones would become cheap or cheaper. So you'd suddenly see a dearth of old silver coaches of LMS origin on the dealer stalls. Yeah, I do sympathise. Anthony's got a lot on his plate before Gets. There's a lot of to-ing and froing in the house. There's also a marriage to come, and then there's Gets itself. Some Blazy Model World. Hi, Roger. How are you? By Rick and Pauline. Oh, okay. See you, Rick. Take care, mate. Yeah, Roger, we have the great and the good. Okay, cheers, Anthony. Thanks for coming. Yeah, it's coming right past you now, Martin. Yeah, Jerry, that's a sort of teeth effect. I know you're a woodworker, so I'm sure you'll appreciate that they were made out of teak and not very good in a crash. When you see the silver A4 come around, Jerry, it's got a Broadway electronics in it, giving it the smoke and the sound. And it's coming into view right now. Vote time. Flying Scotsman or Mallard?
Mallard.
Mallard.
The choice between the world speed holder or the world's #1 trespass machine.
Yeah. Having said that, each of the A4s were capable of doing that kind of speed on their day. But it was pushing the limits, going 126. There's only so much that the bearings can take.
Yeah, well, it failed at Peterborough, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah. Hot axle.
Yeah.
The middle bearing, I think.
Hot axle, the middle bearing. So 126 does some damage. Those preserved teak coaches in York and Children look great. Yeah, they do. You're absolutely right. I think that might be the Princess. Is it Princess Alexandra's coach at Children? I think Craig from New Durham Junction was up there today, and it's beautifully proportioned and laid out. And they do keep it well, to their credit, in pristine condition. Okay, guys and gals. Yeehaw. Okay, folks. Right, I'm going to make way for Dave Swindon Junction, who's just gone live now. Don't want to tread on his toes too badly, so I've had my hour of fame, if you want to put it like that. For the speed record, the A4 is still beaten by the German BR5 in an attempt to beat the S3T. Interesting. There you go. Both record makers, but Mallard for me, yeah. I think that's right. So I'm going to call it there, guys. And I'll catch up with you all soon. Take care out there, and so long for now. Adios, amigos.